Greetings, fellow grammarians. In this short series of videos, I'm talking about what I call distinction indicators. There's 9 of them, and most people call them relative pronouns. I do not, and I'm explaining why. I'm explaining in this series why I don't call them that, and why I don't think they really are pronouns in the fullest sense of the word. Okay, so let's move on to the next 2 words. What and whatever. What and whatever. What is a simple word, a single word. Whatever is a compound word. And what the word whatever really means is the thing that, or the noun that. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the word what in action. What he desires is absolute power, okay? What he desires is absolute power. Now, we ask, is there a distinction clause here? Because that's what we're talking about in this series. And where is the referent? See, when you first look at this, when you're learning grammar, you might say, oh, that's a noun clause. You could say that. You could say, I think that's a noun clause, which I talked about in previous videos. But let's look at really what's going on here. The words what and whatever, as I said, actually mean the thing that, or the noun that. All right? So if we rewrite the sentence, we get the thing that he desires is absolute power. The thing that he desires is absolute power. So now we see here, clearly, we have a distinction clause, okay? That used to be called a relative clause, but I changed that. So now you see that you have your distinction clause, and also you have what I've been teaching is your derived referent, okay? From this word, when we mapped it out, the thing that, okay, we found our derived referent, the word thing. Now, the distinction clause then refers back to the referent, the word thing in this case. So the referent isn't plain and clear out in the open like with the given referent. This one here has to be pulled out. We have to find out where it is. Right? Now the word whatever originally came from the word whatsoever. That's the words what, so, and ever put together. That's how they used to say it. And of course, the word what means what, and the word so means then or subsequently, and the word ever means at any time. So when you would use the word whatsoever, you would kind of feel an element of time. There would be a sense of impending action or anticipated choice. Okay, so let's look at let's look at that same sentence. What he desires is absolute power. Now here's another one with whatever, okay? Whatever you choose is fine with me. So what he desires is a distinction clause, and whatever you choose is a distinction clause, okay? Now, if you look at this, what he desires is absolute power. You know he desires absolute power because they're telling you. It's kind of a closed feeling, kind of a closed concept. But when you say something like, whatever you choose is fine with me, there's a slight sense of openness, a slight sense of not knowing, because you're saying whatever you choose. So the known isn't known yet. So you see with the word whatever, because it originally came from the word whatsoever, okay, you kind of feel kind of a sense of time or impending action, okay? Now, so if we go a little bit deeper, we see, well, here's the same sample sentence again. What he desires is absolute power. All right. Then you have an actual sentence with a noun clause in it. I'm showing you this so you don't get the two kinds of clauses confused. All right? The sentence is, that he lives to serve others is honorable. That he lives to serve others is honorable. Okay? That he lives to serve others is a noun clause, which I already talked about in other videos. So you can see a difference. And to explain the difference clearly, all right, instead of what he desires, okay, I converted that. The thing that he desires is absolute power. See, I converted the word what to the thing that. So you can plainly and clearly see what's going on inside in the deeper level, the abstract level, okay? So now you see the two sentences, one with the noun clause, one with the distinction clause, okay? And you can see the difference, and you can also see that your referent, your derived referent, has been pulled out. See here, what he desires, okay? The basically ghost referent or hidden referent is pulled out, and you can see it plainly and clearly, okay? Now, another big difference between these two sentences is in the sentence with the noun clause, you're saying that he lives to serve others is honorable. Well, lives to serve, see it's circled, lives to serve is the thing that's honorable. So you have, what you have here is a verbal setup here. The action, okay, the action of doing this is honorable. But down here you see the thing that he desires is power. So thing, power. You have a nominative feel. You see what I mean? You have a thing, and the thing is power. Those are nouns. So in the sentence with the distinction clause, you have basically a nominative feel, thing, power, and here lives to serve, honorable. You have a verbal thing. You kind of have an action thing going on. Okay, I hope you understand that, because we're going to move on to the next word next time. Well, you know what? I'll do it now. Okay, I'll do it now. The next word in our selection of distinction indicators, which used to be called relative pronouns, okay, is which. And then it's buddy, whichever, okay? And what the word whichever really means is the one that or the ones that, okay? Now, when you use the word which, okay, you're referring to non-human things, all right? And when you're using the word what, you're referring to non-human things, all right? What? When you use who, of course, you're referring to human things, or maybe like your pet, if your pet has a name and you treat it like a human. And then the word that ordinarily refers to non-human things. Not in every case. Anyway, the point is, let's move on to the word which. And here's our sample sentence here. All right? The German beer that he loves is very expensive. And then the second sentence is, the German beer which he loves is very expensive. Okay, now beer, the word beer, okay, that's your given referent. That's plain as can be. You can see it clearly. It's not hidden. You don't have to pull it out. All right? That he loves is your distinction clause. All right? And it's restrictive, meaning you can't really take it out and impart the correct meaning of the sentence. Okay, it's restrictive. You kind of really can't take it out. But in the second sentence, the German beer, comma, which he loves, comma, is very expensive. That's non-restrictive. You can take it out and still impart the crux of the meaning of the sentence, the basic meaning. You can still have it. Now, that's non-restricted, because here what you have is, in the first sentence, the German beer that he loves, okay, what you're implying is there's probably more than one brand of German beer. You're talking about the German beer that he loves, because there's probably more than one brand. Now, the other sentence, which he loves, you have only one brand of German beer. Let's say you go to a festival and there's a brand of beer from each country, and there's only one brand of German beer. So you say the German beer, and you say that, oh, the German beer, oh, he loves that, the German one, not the others, okay? You understand that? All right, now, here's another sample so you don't get confused and can understand this better. Here's a sentence. Of the remaining positions, he'll accept one, whichever he prefers, okay? Of the remaining positions, he'll accept one, whichever he prefers. Now, whichever he prefers is the distinction clause. But to open it up, okay, open up the sentence, let's rewrite it. Of the remaining positions, okay, he'll accept one, comma, the one that he prefers. Remember that, this word, whichever, means the one that, okay? So we filled that in, and we got of the remaining positions, okay? He'll accept the one that, see? Okay, of the remaining positions, he'll accept one, comma, the one that he prefers. Now you have the distinction clause is now that he prefers, okay? And then you see there, the word one, it's now your referent, it's derived, it's pulled out of this word, it's pulled out, it's derived. That's a beautiful thing. I kind of invented that concept. That's why I'm sharing all this good stuff. When we get to the last 2 videos or so, I'll show you how it's neatly organized, and it's a beautiful thing if you stop thinking about these words as relative pronouns. Now, another thing you could say too, if you're really paying attention to my other videos, is when you say of the remaining positions, he'll accept one, comma, the one that he prefers, you could actually, the one that he prefers, you could actually think of that as an appositive, which is, I talked about in another video and doesn't pertain to today, but I just wanted to show you that could be considered an appositive. Okay, I went as fast as I could, and we'll move on to the next one and see if you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm reclassifying these words and showing you how they actually work inside the mind. So thanks for being incredibly patient, and good night.